Hello everyone. Today on this video we're going to look at our INTR B12 class unit 13, and the main content is going to be text. So there's a few other things that we're going to cover, which is limits, which we already did, but I can do a quick review. So if you don't remember properly what limits are, we will look at that. So we will be able to adjust them, set them up accordingly. Then we will also be adding or modifying text in CAD drawings, of course. We will create single line and multi-line text. We will adjust the text height and justifications. We can see how, depending on which style we're going to use, we can create bullets, we can add special characters, we can do numbers or letters, depending on the needs. Then we will create and modify text styles, and we can see how we can spell check our text. We also have two other things that we will look in our draw commands, which are hatch and spline, and you will need to create those for parts of the text assignment that you will have today. You see in my screen I have already created some borders, and that's just so that we can see the importance of text justification and how we're going to set it up. I can erase this later, and of course I will be able to recreate them so that you can see how there's different ways that you will do it, and then you will get it done. Okay, so we'll begin with our single line text, and so far you have done it. You have done single line text. So as I was saying, we have already created single line text, and that's basically what I show you guys in class, the ones that were able to do the first assignments in class, face-to-face class. But today we're going to look at that. So we will begin straight to single line text, and now we can do single line text from here directly from our home tab, and then we have our ribbon right here, and you can see right here that there's the annotation part right here. You have text, multi-line, single line, then you have dimensions and other items right here from annotation. So we can do it here, or we can simply go to the annotate tab right here, and then it opens a brand new ribbon right here. We can look at that, and at the end right here we'll see again the option with the big A, and then the first option is multi-line, the second line is single line text. Okay, so we have done this so far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to delete this part right here, and I'm going to go right here and create my single line text right here. So click there, and you remember this part, the first thing you did, the pause. So I'm just gonna go and say, okay, well, I'm just going to start somewhere right here. So I click somewhere in the middle, or not in the middle, but on the left side of this frame right here. And the first thing I need to go see is my height. If you recall, we said that all of our text and our drawings, no matter what, it's always going to be uppercase and 1/8 of an inch in height. And of course we will have to adjust that according to this scale that we're going to be printing. But in this particular case, and when you're printing 1:1 scale, it's always going to be 1/8 of an inch. So I have to go and type 0.125 or 1/8, and then I hit enter. Then it's going to be my rotation. Remember that at this time you can, if you need text that needs to be rotated, then you specify the rotation angle at this time. If not, it's telling you 0 right here. By clicking enter, you acknowledge that that's what you want. Then you will see this little eye blinking right here. Then you go ahead and start typing. So I can go and say Bakersfield College, enter. Bakersfield College, enter, and I can type whatever. And I said, well, I didn't need that one there, so I can actually go enter and have 3, and then I just hit enter again, and it keeps giving me more rows. But if I go right here and I hit enter again, a double enter takes me out. Now that's what we have done so far. So we just go in, type our name and date, perhaps that's what we have done, and that's it. But if I were to click on this text, or this one, I will see a tiny little blue square right here that shows up. That tells me the justification of my text, which means from that point, that text is gonna be going in either this direction or this direction. My insertion point is gonna be either here or somewhere in the center or somewhere right here or at the other end, depending on my justification. At this time, it was whatever I used the last time. That's typically what happens when you open your text and you type your text. The first setting or the first justification is going to be the last one that you used. So in this case, whatever it is at this time, it's what I had used in the past. Now you said, well, how am I supposed to know? How do I know what my justification is? How do I know what my size is? Well, your size, you set it up front, but your justification, if you just click, select the text and type PR for properties, PR, and then hit enter, it will give you this window for properties. And this has all of the information that you need for your text. So if you see right here, under text, it gives you the content. So I'm selecting the text that says Salinas. Then I have a particular text style. We'll look at text styles in a little bit. It has some other descriptions, annotative, no, justified. So there's your justification, justified to the left. Gives me the height, the rotation, the width factor, and many other things that aren't necessarily important right now, but it gives me the information that I need to know about my text, the height, the justification, the style, and the content. So if I wanted to change the content, I could change it right here. If I want to change the size, I can go and change it right here. See, I can make it a different size. If I wanted to, I can modify it right here. It doesn't matter what justification it has, it will change right here. But of course, you can see it overlaps on this one, so I will have to have that set up before I change my height. So I'm going to go back and do the 1.25 and bring it to its original size. Now I could change my justification as well right here if I wanted to do right justification, but look at what happens right here. So now the text goes in the opposite direction. So it makes a difference when I'm creating my text to know where my justification is going to be, because I need to know. I don't want to risk the fact that I can create my text and it will go outside of my determined area that it needs to be. So if I wanted my text to fill this box, then most likely I want to create this and not left justification, or perhaps put my insertion point somewhere else so that I can justify it in another direction. Okay, so I'm going to go back and say, no, I want my left justification so that everything is the same. If that's all I want, I hit enter or escape, and then I close this window and I'm back right here. Okay, now you will say, if I want to set up my text since the beginning with a particular justification or something other than left, how do I do that? Okay, well, let's do that right here. So let's say that I want more text and I go single line text. Okay, instead of going directly to find my starting point, if you look down here, it says start point or, and then it gives you two options, style or justify, which is your justification. So if I click on justification, it opens a new window full of options, and you can see that these titles have a highlighted letter. The first letter has a capital letter and it's highlighted in blue, so that tells you that you can either type A or simply go and select one of these. These are all of your options. If you just move your cursor into your canvas, into your working area, you'll see that it actually gives you this window right here with all of your options as well. These options are the same that you have right here. So let's say that I wanted to do something like top center, because you will have to set some of these up. So I'm going to do top center right here, and then now it's going to say justification, so I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch for my text so I can see it right here. I simply hit enter to acknowledge. Then I need a rotation angle, which I'm going to keep it at 0, and then I'm going to start typing, and I'm going to do Bakersfield College, Bakersfield College again. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to say Salinas, and say, well, I kind of don't like this right here, so I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to say escape, and I'm done. So now you can see the difference. Now if I go and click on this text, and I click on this one right here, see now my justification is right here. I justify my text to top center right here. So if I want it center right here, I will type my text until it covers my frame right here, but it goes symmetrical or proportionate in both directions. So it may be a better option for me if I want to center my text right here, and it's top center. So once I do that, once I know how to set one up, I know that I can do pretty much any justification. So if I just go single, instead of going to my first point automatically, I go to justify. I pick my option right here, my justification, and then I set it up. So I go and I said, okay, now I'm going to go and do right or center justification. I click here, I go 1.25, enter, no rotational angle, and I can go enter, BC, enter, takes me out. So I can click here, I can click here, and I can click here. See, I have one justification point, justified to the left, justified to the center. You can see right here, justified to the top center right here. So I can set it up pretty much in any justification that I want. This is for my single line text. Okay, so we'll see what we can do with the multi-line text. Now, these are all of your justifications. I'm sorry. There's two more options that we can do. If I go and I said, okay, single line text, justify, and now I'm gonna do fit, which you will do. Okay, somewhere in this frame you will have to do fit text. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say from here to here, and I'm using my object snap to go from the center of this fillet. Okay, and now it's gonna say what's your text height, 0.25, and I'm gonna go Bakersfield College, Bakersfield College. So you notice that if I keep typing, it will fit that text in between those parameters that I set. I'm gonna go from this distance to that distance, and it does not matter how much text I put. Okay, I will continue to type Bakersfield College. It will just continue to fit that text. It will not change the height. It will just continue to sort of smash the text, keep it tight and tight and tighter until you can pretty much will not be able to read it. You will see a solid, almost like a solid block or a solid line, but you won't see the difference. So you can do that there. Now the difference between fit and then I have another option that I'll show you right now. So if I go here and I said enter, that's my text right here. And if I go and I said single line text, okay. So I'm gonna go single line text right here from this point, okay. Let's say that I just put it right here to somewhere here. Actually, let me go back. I'm sorry. Single line justified, okay, and I'm going to align it instead of fit. I'm gonna do align. So I'm gonna go somewhere right here, and I'm gonna do the same distance right here. So I'm gonna align it, and I'm gonna start typing right there. Bakersfield College if you notice right here, the text, it's been adjusted so that when I type more, the more I type, the more I add right here. So if I go and I continue, let's say I'm gonna go all the way to the end and I'm gonna add more text. So I go Salinas. See, the difference between these two is that they have the same boundaries, they have the same distance right here. But if you look at this one up here that I created with the fit option, it just continues to be smashed, and so you just keep getting it closer and closer and closer, but the height does not change, so your proportion it's a little off. But this one right here, when you align it, if you see at the height, it's adjusted according to how much text you have, so you always have that proportion to the text. So those are the two options that are a little different than the rest of the justification. So if you're gonna do one or the other, you will see this one will not lose its height. It will just continue to get, you know, smaller and smaller on the on this direction, but the height will not change. This one on the aligned part, you will have this, and it will be adjusted according to the needs. Okay, so that is your single line text. That's how you're gonna do it. You're gonna go, you're gonna do your justifications, but remember, the first most important thing is when you go and you do your single line, instead of automatically going to find your starting point, you're gonna go justify it. When you justify, you pick your alignment, not your alignment, but your justification, I'm sorry. Any one there is, you can see them right here. You can pull your cursor into your working space, your canvas, and then you'll see the same options right here. Then you do it, then you simply find your location, and then you're good to go. Okay, so that is our single line text, the way we're gonna do it, the way we're gonna add it, the way we're going to justify it, and the way we're going to modify it. If we need to modify something, we said we can just click on it, do PR, enter, and at this time we can change the justification, we can change the text style, we can change the content, we can change the height, we can change many things right here. That tells us the layer and everything else where we are. So once you do your changes right here, you simply hit escape and you close this window. Otherwise you have to dock it right here, and it just takes a little more space from your working area. But if you have a big screen, you will be fine. It's a matter of choice. If not, simply close it. No, cancel, hit the wrong button, click right here, and then you are done. Okay, so this is single line text. We'll look at multi-line text on the next video. Thank you.